Okay, I believe we're live now. So we haven't done a little Easter egg for the beginning of the stream, and I was playing around with the guitar today, and I have an idea that I'd like to share before we get into doing anything else. And besides, I kind of want to not forget whatever I had in mind, so better to have it here than to not, right? Am I hearing audio from somewhere? I don't know. Anyways, it's a super simple thing. It's like 3 ingredients here. Hey, what's up, humanity? It's good to see you, man. Also, is the audio sounding the same as usual? I don't know why, but it feels a little weird. Yeah, it feels a little bit weird. Let me open something up real quick. I don't know why it's different. Condenser mic. Okay, we should be good now. I think it still kind of sounds the same if I'm gonna be real with you. Oh, so what's going up? Samurai and Humanity. Yeah, I started very early today. I'm feeling a little bit sick, so I know I'm gonna feel worse as we go through the day. So I'd rather just get this stream, do a stream today, and do a little bit of cleaning and go from here. Also, it's good to see you, Carlos. Back from the last stream. Anyways, as it's customary for the people who watch videos, the videos of the stream before we get live, I like doing a little bit of, sometimes I like doing a little audio Easter egg, or musical Easter egg. So we're going to do that for these people, for the people of the future, I guess. So it's only three ingredients to the song. That chord, and this harmonic pinch. It's kind of crazy what you can do with something simple like that. It feels like something you can hear in like an Animal Crossing type thing. So maybe it'll end up in the game. Who knows? In a more slowed down version. My country, it's 10:14. Really? It's currently 3:15 p.m. for me over here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so we have big progress. I did some work really early last night. First of all, let me kill all PyCom because I don't want my computer dying on me from overheating like I did last time. So we're just gonna kill all PyCom. Hopefully this doesn't break things like crazy. Yeah, we're good. And let me open up the Git logs because yeah, I was up super late last night because I was we were struggling with the cache shadows and I was just kind of all types of lost, and I realized, okay, this is a problem we need to just deal with and wrestle with in an environment that isn't live streamed. So I can just, I like the live streaming, but it's just, sometimes you can't think as clearly or take the time you need to do things. Yeah, and I think this is, what was the commits last night? Finally fixed cache shadows at what time? 2:42 a.m. Yeah, that was we did some more stuff even after that. But so we have the good news, guys, is that we have the working cache shadows now, as I posted in the Discord update earlier today. So I'm just gonna give you a little run through, a little showcase of it. Or actually, let's do a little run comparison of before and after, and then we're gonna do some code cleaning today, and hopefully, we can start doing some more level designing things. So let's actually we can keep it running because I believe my function should just work. I don't know. Of all trades, I had a lot of free time, Carlos. Had a lot of free time in my life. So here's the cache shadow working as it's kind of intended. As you can see here, there's like shadows here from the wall up there, and we go to this floor. There's like a little shadow from the ledge there, and you know, it's just like how it's working. And there's like even a little drop shadow, but from the character themselves. But we're gonna be changing that because we're gonna make this be pre-computed. But hey, dude, we have like shadow, and then even the ledge here is casting a shadow down. And now we can just go back into editor, go into this direct light, and I can turn it off. And now we can see, oh my goodness. Doesn't look as nice, does it? Doesn't look as fancy. I'm glad the lights still interact with the core shadows good, but the cast shadows, my goodness, dude. How can you have a game without some good old-fashioned cast shadows? Like, come on, dude. Like, look at this. This feels like a liminal space. I mean, it's gonna look liminal anyway, but like it looks even more unreal and weird. But if we go in here and just put this bad boy back on, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So we made it work, ladies and gentlemen. We got the thing. We got him. As what was it? Obama who said that, or George Bush? I can't remember. So my country time zone is usually 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Oh, for like the streams? That sucks, humanity. Maybe try voiceover stuff, just saying. It'll be fun to do that. Thank you, Rumpelstiltskin, for saying my voice is crispy. Oh, man. I'm glad you enjoy it. Oh, let me stop sipping on the microphone, my bad. Someone was complaining about that, and I'm trying to get better with it. But yeah. Yes, sir. We got it working. What was that saying? Like a voice for a face for radio and a voice for print. I don't think I'm that bad, but still. I know coding and game deving may not be the most eye-catching of things, but hey, hopefully the voiceovers help. Anyways, so we have this working now, and the question is, all right, man, Cozy, this is working as intended. What is there left to do? Ship the game as is. Well, first of all, we can't ship the game because there's no game content, right? We could go here and that's about it. We just have like a prototype hub world and then a prototype, not even a prototype, not even a box, white box for the level. But even then, this functionality is working as intended, but there's even more I wish to do with it. And there's a lot of just garbage bad code I have currently. Not bad code, just it's sloppy code. There's a lot of cleaning out that we need to do here. There's a lot of commented out stuff from debugging way earlier today, like all this. So we're gonna do a little round of just code cleanup, make things nice, fancy, nice and up to par with my coding standard. And I would also like to update this cozy sunlight so that instead of computing this cast shadow every single frame, we just compute it once and just hold on to it so that in the final builds, people don't have to do that. They could just like use the use a texture for this cast shadow, and it's like basically like baked in there. So it makes the game a bit more. It just lessens the amount of computation people have to do on their PCs to play this game. So that's the two goals, and then from here I'd like to actually start developing and white boxing this out, because the cast shadows was the last remaining tool I really needed to do the things I want to do. And now that we have that, we can start building and prototyping and making a great level. We're figuring out what our level 1's going to look like. So we're going to be doing a lot of house cleaning today, and hopefully start working on some new content. Let me catch up and stream real quick though. 1 second, guys. Nice to meet you. See you, Maddie. You have a good one, man. A face for radio and a voice for print. That's the idiom. There you go. You got it. Kind sir, is that an IBM Model M? Yes, sir, it is. Leonardo. As the almighty battleship. Yes, this is the humongo one with like, what was it? Like 24 command keys or F keys? Like, it's a classic. It's a classic. I'm blocking the precious IBM logo, but yeah. That's the OG one from manufactured in 1985. I also think I still have the serial number, so there's a way to find out what factory it came from. Print to print high. Yes, code. That's done. Ship it. We did the game, guys. We did the game. We won the game. Why use a CRT? Sorry, this is a well-known thing, but it's my first time. It's just a choice I make. I think I should actually probably add it because there's a command here. There's commands for just common things, but there's a command for why, and it's not really helpful. It's just because I can, because that's honestly the answer. There's no reason behind it beyond I just like doing it and using this bad boy. We're going to clean this up a little bit. So we're just going to do a little bit of minor cleanup here and there. Just making this nice and pretty and tidy as it was meant to be. There's some additional things I might want to do in the future, like some softening of pixels on the edges of shadows, but you know what, I don't think I'm even going to, if I want to do that, we'll just do that when the time comes, and I'll just rework all this code and go through the Git logs and figure out what's going on here. For all intents and purposes, though, this is all we need, baby. And I think this is largely all that's really needed. There's also additional fields that we can get rid of now because it's not pertinent. There's a lot of data that wasn't really necessary, like min and max. There's also some things I'd like to enforce with this get component thing to make sure things work as intended. One second. What are you making? Just cleaning up some code right now. I'm cleaning up some cache shadows. For context, we made our own cache shadows. We made our own lighting model. I keep saying that a bunch, but that's the context of this. Unity has its own lighting models. We use our own for reasons, and maybe not good reasons, but reasons. And yeah, so it required us implementing our own stuff, like cache shadows, which is needed. And it was broken for a while. Now we got it fixed, and it's working in a much better capacity. So that's pretty good. And now we're just doing some cleanup of this because I did a lot of debugging stuff earlier, and it's not enough that this works. It's also important to kind of maintain good code cleanliness. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's good to maintain some good code cleanliness so that you don't go crazy when you have to revisit this for whatever reason. Oh my goodness, stop recompiling. And there's some variables we don't need anymore, like this min distance or the ray length. Like these are redundant things that are no longer needed or even applicable to this cache shadow business. So let's just first comment them out and then see what breaks as a result. And if nothing breaks as a result within... Geez, stop doing that. But if nothing breaks, then we can just kind of remove these things. And what did I remove? Sun ray length and sun depth min distance. Yeah, we can just remove these factors. and min distance, because that's no longer applicable. And we can remove. What is going on with Rider today? Why is it just... Oh, because the game is running. No, the game is not running. Wait, what is going on? Why is this doing this today? This is very weird. Alright, let me catch up in chat real quick, though. Start calling the IBM the almighty battleship. Yeah, it's a great battleship, man. Where can I play it, and is it FOSS? Sadly not. I mean, I'm debating if I'm going to make it FOSS. But I haven't made any decisions, and it's not out yet. There's a prototype, an old prototype on Newgrounds from like a couple months back. But it's not indicative of what we're trying to do here or the final product. It's much more just kind of literally what it is, a prototype. And yeah. I'm still debating the FOSS thing, though. If I want to make at least maybe my dev kit free, but then the assets not free. I don't know. That way someone can use my dev kit to create stuff, and that could be cool, but then the assets for this game are locked away separately, so people can't just make this game or redistribute it. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I should really care. Gregory. Let me catch up. For example, A equals hello print A and say the response. What are you saying, Gregory? Or my code is 100 IQ. Oh, so who's Gregory? Where's Gregory at? Gregory Toniolo. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. Carlos, hi. My boss said to convince you to work for our company. This guy's funny. Currently taking college courses on this. Love it. College courses on what specifically? I'm curious. Like gem deving? You doing some coding stuff or shader stuff? Yeah, Ryder. Everything just breaks, man. Everything just breaks. Some good ASMR with the IBM keyboard. I'm glad you dig it, man. We swap between keyboards. I have an Ergodox that I usually use, but sometimes you just gotta spice things up, you know? You gotta do things a little bit different. You gotta have something different, you know? Oh, we need to fix some camera stuff. There's a lot of things we still need to fix here, as far as as far as player controls are concerned. But we'll get there eventually. We will get there eventually. Yeah, what am I thinking about beyond just the code cleanup? Because there's other things that I'm pretty sure requires our attention. Let me consult the to-do. Collection design. I think we might have completed that. We haven't made collectibles. We haven't done that. So design is, I think, done. We architected that and it works. Now we have to implement pickups. So that's a thing. Occlusion overdraw. That's a cool feature. We might just do that. It'd be kind of cool to do some shader things today too. Like this. I don't think it would be that crazy. I'm just saying, think about like if that would be super costly or not. I might modify one depth buffer to encode data a little bit differently so I can add that, but I don't know how that would work. Add cache shadows? Yes. We did it for directional lights. Point lights, that's a different thing. I'm debating if I even want to do that. That's going to be a whole... I mean, it's technically kind of the same idea as this. It's just that instead of one orthographic camera for the depth data, you're going to be using, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projection cameras, depth cameras with angle of like 90 degrees, I think. Or FOV of 90 degrees or something. I forgot what it was. This, I'm not sure how prevalent I'm going to be using that though. And then outside of that is just continuous level 1 iteration. There's also the localization text database thing I want to do, but that's going to be a whole thing. We fixed this actually too. We did the I3 bar. It works correctly. Cool, so I think we actually are pretty on track through this. So let me just do a little bit more meandering through the code base and see if there's anything we need to clean up or do, and then yeah, there's a lot to do here, and we'll go from here. Let me catch up in chat real quick though. No writer breaking. And I can say codes, initial, mid, provisional, professional. I'm sorry, my code is 100 IQ. I'm trying to catch, like, I'm catching snippets of what you're saying it, but I feel like I'm missing the whole context. So you might have to help me out here. How did that rough draft website go? It was a little fun. I actually have more ideas now after our little conversation and after we made the lore stuff. What was it? Did I think here I think it's just, or is it just lowercase lore? Yeah, after we did recover. Yeah, after we had the lore, I started getting some ideas for what the website might look like and how we might go about it. So I'm getting kind of excited actually now that we have some lore of what this Cozy Cabin Games area is going to be, and the Cozy Cabin Creek and Tavern and all that business. We'll see though. I think that might be a project I do when I'm stuck or something, or just for fun on my laptop. I have like a Cozy OS build there, and I might just keep chucking away on that. Let me keep catching up though. 1 second, guys. Currently taking college courses on this, and I love it. Sick, man. Dubbing and coding class, and everything that goes into making the computers work. Okay, that's sick. Internals and everything. Okay, internals. Oh, like hardware, operating systems, that sort of thing. Nice Edison light bulb. I have 2 of those here in my off-grid house in Norway. I love the vibe. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Honestly, the dream one day is to go full off-grid. I've been thinking about, like, I have a compost I've been working on and doing some gardening and some woodworking, and one day we're going to build up to it. I feel like it's in line with my idea and goal. Like, heck, the whole idea of Cozy Cabin Games was just like this dream I had. Not dream I had, but this feeling I wanted. This thing I wanted to do as a kid where I just wanted to disappear from school because I hated school. I just wanted to disappear into a cabin in the woods away from society, except for like an Ethernet connection or T1 line or something, and just work on my games. And I haven't gotten quite there, but I feel like I've gotten a decent amount towards that. What's up, Prionsa? It's good to see you, Prionsa. One second, let me exit out of this so I can actually move up chat. I'm trying to be better a little bit today with catching up. Found the stream, looks really interesting and some good. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it, man. Do you have a Patreon or Ko-fi? Nah, Greg. Yeah, right now we're not doing, there's like no monetization whatsoever. I mean, because my day job covers me pretty good, and I'm able to do what I like to do, and I also enjoy the work I do for my day job as well. So, and it kind of forces me to grow in a lot of cases, so, you know, as long as I'm able to cover my basic needs, I don't feel too inclined to, you know, get paid for this, at least yet. I don't know. We'll see if that ever changes, but yeah, right now I'm perfectly content. Just work on this game, streaming the process so you guys can see it and making a nice atmosphere where we can just hang out and relax a little bit. What are we doing here? We're just fixing up some stuff. User bin environment Python simple snake game for terminal works in tmux. Press Q, quit importing. Cause my code, what are you doing, dog? What are you doing? Like, are you trying to prompt me, dude? My code is IQ. Do you think I feel like I feel like you're like prompting me as if I'm like ChatGPT or something. It's a dream. I just started in March. Set up solar panels, nice. 5G works fine, and got done. Geese coding alone in the forest, and is a wild brother vibe. Yeah, none of those scary humans. Actually, I'm not like actually particularly antisocial or even like introverted. It's just that it's not necessarily the people that. It's like, I don't know, the noise, the information, the like not even that noise. It's just, I don't know. There's something about being in isolation where like, oh, I think that's the thing that it feels like is that you're always kind of, things are trying to get your attention in different ways, and there's like things poking at you from different things, either from people IRL or from social media or whatnot. I like the idea of just being super closed off for a minute and just like, I don't know. I haven't actually thought about that particular thing in a while. So maybe I should need to revisit how I think about it. But yeah, there's something about it. Of having that space to just kind of like let your brain just do its thing. On draw gizmos. But then again, like it's kind of hypocritical, right? Because what am I doing? I'm streaming, broadcasting out. That's like a very different, it's like, when I'm streaming, it's like I give everyone read access to me, not write access. Like in Linux terms or file system terms, it's like, all right, you guys have the access to read what's going on over here, but you can't write context on me. Whereas like in person or out and about or whatnot, or even scrolling social media, it's like read write access. I guess it's the best way I can describe it. I'm glad you did get in that segment. Oh, my bad. My phone has a very Metal Gear Solid sound. I'll put it down a little bit lower so it's not as disturbing. Oh, wait. My boy texted me. Damn, man. What's up, Gregory? Should I use matrices or quaternions for rotation when programming a game? Okay, so that's a loaded question you're asking there. Because both those things have different strengths and weaknesses. But I will refer to you to a particular talk that I think you will find very helpful, from Freya, I believe. Come on. And it talks, it's really nice because she gives you like tables that like explains the pros and cons of different types of rotations, where like, sometimes Euler angles have certain things. Maybe you want to use quaternions for application logic because that's helpful for like linear interpolation and whatnot, but then there's performance. I thought I turned it down lower. My bad, guys. But then maybe if you're some performance considerations, or maybe you're doing this on the GPU side, there might be some different considerations on that. So this talk is the one I'm talking about, I believe. I'll link it in chat. I think that would give you a much more robust and nuanced answer for how you go about doing rotations and matrices and all that kind of stuff for your game, and how you choose to work with it. And it really depends, because if you're using an engine, that decision's largely kind of made for you just based off of what they offer, but you know, it really depends. I'm gonna close this out. I don't know why this gets weird. I3, why are you, I know there's a weird, okay, there we go, I fixed it. No, I didn't. I need to figure out how to do that in a very quick fashion. I like doing things from scratch with OpenGL and GL. Okay, sick. Okay, yeah. Actually do, yeah, and then if you're doing OpenGL and stuff, you're probably going to start off just by constructing a rotation matrix and using that kind of thing. Yeah, and see, nice. Oh, so what's good, Anuska? It's good to see you. Yeah, I am live. I came to delete. Oh no, don't delete the file system. I made a couple small games in Godot. Sick. But yeah, it's crazy how easily prescriptive things are as far as software is concerned, as far as games are concerned even. Okay, now this is gone, I believe I can just have my gizmo work as intended again, so I can see the state of the sun at a glance. There's no longer array depth because now we have I was running a wire cube to see the view frustum, but now that we have a camera component, we don't actually need that because it's visible through the camera component. Maybe it might be helpful. I don't know. Do I need to do that? Orthographic size, yeah. World width in meters. Yeah, this is just stuff you'd get from... That's literally everything you just get from... This is all just the same... That's ray depth, so that'd be the far plane actually. And then these would be... spell the graphic size, and then we can just, do I actually want to use, yeah, let's actually just cache this as well, because why not? I don't know. Length. Yeah, something like that. Okay, now this should just work when I go into Unity. Alright, let it compile. Let me catch up in chat. I don't know any calculus, but I want to start making cool 3D and 4D stuff. Do I need to use derivatives, or can I get away? I mean, you're gonna deal with the concept of derivatives, not in a formulaic way, but you have to be familiar with the idea of like change in position is velocity and change in velocity is acceleration and that sort of thing. So I guess derivatives in that context. But at least for me, I haven't really experienced having to do derivatives for for anything beyond that or in a more formal context. I think the most practical thing would be getting familiar with linear algebra and just 3D math in general, because that's going to be very useful. I mean, it depends on the type, but what you're describing is like 3D and 4D games, and yeah, you for sure need to have linear algebra experience and understanding. There's books you can get for that kind of thing, or video series you can watch. But yeah, I'd say like the math that's much more prevalent for this kind of thing is linear algebra and matrices. And even then, it's not like you're implementing a lot of that stuff. Like there's common functions that are going to be implemented for you. You just need to understand what they conceptually do. Now, you said 4D though, so that means you're probably you might be venturing into like different types of, I forgot what it's called. It's like Euclidean spaces, or is it non-Euclidean? Yeah, it would be like non-Euclidean, but there's also like different types of spaces of like a hyperbolic space and then spherical space, which has different properties than normal two-dimensional Euclidean space. And then there's a whole thing for that. That's a whole different type of thing of math you'll probably encounter. I would not be as good of a resource to prescribe what to do there outside of just watching some math YouTubers and get a feel for those concepts. Or I know there's games that are meant to be their main focus is non-Euclidean geometry, and they have like devlogs that really extensively talk more about some of the math that's involved in there. So if you want to look for that kind of thing, yeah, Hyperbolica devlog. This would be the good one. This is actually where I first heard about this kind of stuff. I would suggest looking here. And again, this is much more like conceptual. I imagine you're also gonna have to pick up some shader stuff, which isn't crazy. You can do that. It's not hard. They make it seem hard. It's not hard to do some of the tricks you want to do there. That'd be my recommendations, at least. What am I seeing, Bucky? We're just working on a game right now. I'm just doing some code cleanup right now, and I think the code is largely clean. I mean, we're going to test it to see if it works fine, and I'm also going to check to make sure the gizmos are drawing correctly on the directional sunlight now, but I think we might be just good here. I mean, the shadows are behaving like shadows. That's always great. If I go to the directional sunlight, not really seeing that gizmos that I was hoping to see. So that's not great. But I can change the rotation, and that should change time of day a little bit. It might glitch out. And now cast shadows are over here. So yeah, everything's working as intended, it seems like. Hey, we can do time of day if we want to, actually. If you want to keep having shadow maps be done, drawn every single frame. I'm not sure if I want to do that, though. But I might want to do some performance profiling before I make a decision to do the baked light thing, but we'll see. Okay, so we have that. This is not behaving as much as I want to. And we're using the correct matrix, I believe, as well, so. But this is not really going to be that big of a boon for us. I'm just going to get rid of it anyways. Which language? C#. I feel like if someday Cozy advises me about taxes in life, I would sit down and listen to him with a coffee like a storybook. All right, Anuska. Here's the story of how little Timmy committed tax fraud and tax evasion from the IRS, and how we restructured that into a payment plan. Once upon a time, there was a little Play-Doh man named Jim, and he was homeless, but he had money, and he wanted to buy a house. So Jim knocked on a house and asked, "Hey, can I have your house? Here's some money." And they said, "No, you just can't do that. You got to get a mortgage." So Tim went over to, okay, we're not going to do this. And then Tim learned about 30-year mortgages versus 15-year fixed rate mortgages versus adjustable rate mortgages. And then he learned about the horrible story of the great dragon called the 2008 recession financial crash. Or the big dragon, ninja loans. Okay, we're going to stop. We're going to stop. We're not going to talk about the financial crisis of 2008. We're not going to talk about CDOs or bespoke collateralized debt obligations. These are not words we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about simple things, real things, like game deving, like video games. Something really real. Okay, we're just going to submit this because I think I'm going to save this. Yeah. Code cleanup. Yeah. That way we don't lose any progress. Do you like Kubernetes? I never use that. I don't do web deving or any of that kind of stuff. It's kind of a place of ignorance for me. I'm aware of Kubernetes and Dockers and that kind of stuff. But did you watch Arsenal game earlier today? What was that IT crowd thing? What was that IT crowd reference? They're ludicrous last night, weren't they, or something like that? Like, nah, I don't really watch sports. What do you look like? You could probably find it on the channel. I haven't taken down any of my other old videos. Nice. I've always wanted to do this, but for Roblox. So dumb. Not dumb, dude. It's a tool. You'll learn some stuff by doing stuff. I mean, I don't never use Roblox, so I can't tell you for sure, but I know they use Lua, or at least they used to use Lua. And even though I'm not a big fan of dynamic programming, I still think there's still merit in doing programming and learning. Yeah, no, Roblox stuff isn't dumb, dude. You should try making your build scripts faster. Maybe use makefiles and shell scripts. The time wasted for the game compile. I mean, I'm using an engine though, Gregory. I'm not using this doesn't use make. This is using a JIT compiler for C#. For Unity. For my game engine, I'm using CLion and it's using CMake to do that stuff. So it's pretty quick to compile and run, comparatively. But it's also a much smaller game. I imagine it's going to scale bigger to bigger degrees. And there's also quite a lot in here already. I love the IT crowd. Chris O'Dowd is from my country. Oh, really? That's sick, dude. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I'm so mad I didn't get into IT crowd sooner. And I'm even more mad that these past 2 weeks is when I started getting to the IT crowd for the first time, and the YouTube channel for the IT crowd started posting full episodes online, and I was binge watching it like crazy. Like every night I was watching an episode, rewatching episodes. It was fantastic. You're an old man sitting in old clothes playing Hoopaloo with the wind. But then this week I go back to search up my regular episode, and guess what? None of the episodes are available. Oh, you're blocked from having access in your country. Are you kidding me, dude? What's going on? That sucks. I went from having this thing and being obsessed with it to now I don't have access to it. And now I have to look at other options. I have to consider other means of getting access to this show. It's very tragic. display for aesthetics or because it has lower latency? It's just for fun. You can do a goten go. Just gotta start, man. Hate seeing that. Yeah, VPN. I know there's VPN. One day we'll do the VPN. Also, one thing I realized I need to add to my to-do was that I want to rework game data save system. Because honestly, the way I have it is kind of, it's very like unintuitive on purpose, but for the type of data I'm storing and like it's, I may as well make it like plain text available, or maybe I'll have multiple means, but simple plain text data format. And then I have some stuff for like hashing to see if your game data gets corrupted. I'm thinking about revising. I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. On the one hand, making it not plain text, and then also have target save data location configuration. I really want to enforce that data gets saved in one general location, but I can't guarantee that's the fact. Because I want to have the ability for, if you play another one of my games, it can see if you have save data from another game or a previous game and give you some extra cool things, like maybe, you know, you get a skin of that character or some secret item or something, you know. To do that though, you kind of have to have like some central place where we know for a fact, where we can look up the data for the games you played or you've played. So there's a way of easily enforcing that in Windows. The thing is, for Linux, it's a little bit different. Multi-platform, right? So I'm thinking about how we might, I mean, it might be just simple as just detecting like, hey, are you on Linux? Okay, we're going to write to this directory instead, or search up in this directory. But also, I want to provide the option for people if they want to have like a portable experience for the game, where the game, you know, lives somewhere else, that they can just configure the data to be local as well. So I have the general location set up, but it's for Windows specifically. So we have to make it work on Windows and Linux. And if I do like Android or something, that's going to be a whole different fun little nightmare to deal with. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing we need to do. Oh, I know byte ordering is efficient, Gregory. That's how it's currently implemented. I use direct byte serialization. It's not like a protobuf, but it's like similar in the fact that the data is ordered byte-wise. The thing is, like, for what I'm doing and the type of data we're encoding, that just seems like a more annoyance for me as a developer. Not like in terms of implementing it. Implementing it is easy. What I'm thinking about is that once we start playtesting and people start having save data and they start encountering issues, hopefully they don't, but if they do, it's much easier to parse through a plain text file that has error versus like a byte array. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking in terms of quality of life for me, for debugging, and once we get to that side of things. Just tell people to use Wine and Proton. I don't want to, though. I want to make an actual Linux thing. You can't play Call of Duty online. Sucks. That sucks, man. Real GigaChads implement save data in the bootloader. That's beautiful. That's goofy. Back in my day. This game refuses to save your data unless you connect a floppy drive. We refuse to do that. We deny you service if you don't have a floppy. Oh, yeah, I was looking at the to-dos, right? That's what I was doing. Yeah, the to-dos. Oh, that was like from the shader thing, yeah. Okay. So I'm officially saying that this is done. 100% done. Next is the next thing I want to work on. I want to do occlusion overdraw. I do want to do that. And I feel we've done enough depth map stuff to make it kind of easy to do it. And we just have to have like, do we have a layer just for the player actually? Because then that might make things a bit easier if the player is on their own layer. Because then we can just say, hey, no, it's on a default layer. That's not great. And changing that might cause some weird things to happen. Or maybe we just modify the sprite component itself to be on that on a player layer. Because the way I'm thinking about doing sprite overdrawing or occlusion overdrawing is that like we get like a depth map, and we have a normal depth map to compare against, and then if the pixel is greater than the player, then we do the occlusion overdrawing effect, and if not, then we just draw the normal thing that's there. Yeah, I think that's the simplest thing to do. Alright, we're gonna do the occlusion overdraw, because why not? Why not? I think it'll be fun. And we have the camera here. Where is the camera? The main camera. Gosh, it's amazing how useful depth maps are. Like across every single game or application. It's just so useful to use them. They solve so many problems. If I was gonna draw the player like half transparent, it might be even easier to draw the player at like half transparency over everything, because then there's no need to do that. But the thing is, I don't want to draw the player at half transparency. I want to draw the player with a different color. So we need to do this thing. Post-process render. Yeah, so we're just gonna do that. I'm sorry, what happened? Does it have lasagna? Yeah, that's yours. You're good, Mom. Don't worry. Yeah. So we have a bunch of things. I'm wondering if like the cost is worth it. Like having all these cameras doing depth data of varying types. It's kind of annoying, but at the same time, also this function is just humongous. So I need to break this into simpler, smaller things so I can understand what's going on here. So there's fog, depth cam. They're going to be building. Yeah, fog, ignore depth camera. And cool. And then we have, what is this used for? There's a general depth cam. And then we're going to build another function that does something very similar, but just for the just with the culling mask of the player. Okay, and what kind of object are you? Game object. And then, yep. Cool. That's everything we need. Perfect. And then finally, we just need another method like this one here for building the player ignore or player occlusion. Yeah, let's see what we can do about that. All right, let me catch up in chat real quick, guys. My bad. Try to purposefully break the game, such as trying to clip into walls and stuff like that to get a broad spectrum of what is possible to go wrong. Well, that's a QA thing. Like ideally, if I wasn't a one-man show, it would be have someone concurrently trying to do that. But I think right now it's much more valuable just to get a feel for what this game is even going to be and get it into production. Because right now we're just in kind of pre-production and there's an idea of what it should be. Also, I didn't put on music today, so my bad, guys. Let me do that real quick. Let me put on some. I got my CD going right now. Go CD man, go. Here we go, track 1. But yeah, that's a thing. Like, there's a whole thing for DevOps specifically too. Like the dream would be having like something like Valve, or if not, just a production pipeline cycle where every week we'd have a CI/CD pipeline where every single commit I do on master creates and generates a new build. And then on the start of like Monday, or maybe even like Thursday, Monday, the build gets deployed out to like a personal little, you know, what's the word I want to say? Like a prison of QA testers. These prisoners just, they have a new build bestowed upon them. And that week, they're just breaking in and finding new things weird or just validating if the game is actually fun and what needs to be changed and whatnot. And from there, we get feedback. And next cycle, I just work on applying those things that those people have encountered. I should be doing that, honestly, with a Discord. I used to do that very early on, but I kind of changed things a bit. Or I've been wanting to just get this more far along, but Valve like had their first playtest within the first week. The thing I'm kind of careful about though is that Valve is able to get a bunch of new people who have not seen this game before and test it. Whereas with the Discord, it's the same kind of group of people. Maybe there's some new people from the channel going in there, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys. But there is that thing of like, hey, if you guys get exposed to this frequently, you're gonna get accustomed to certain things that most people are not gonna be accustomed to. And then you kind of like lose this sense of there's like you get used to the smell, right? Even if it's bad smell, if it's a bad smell, if you're there long enough, you'll get used to it. So that's the thing I'm kind of weary of. So I do want to do it more frequently, but at the same time, that's kind of the concern. I don't know. Maybe every week I can just get $20 and get a random person and watch them play. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, this is the mask. Yeah, we need to change that. Gregory, what are you doing, man? Why are you recommending this stuff, dude? No, there's no macros, dude. And trying to avoid boilerplate is like whatchamacallit. That's like that's how you end up with like inheritance, which is inherently bad, but this is not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal. I'd rather have shallow code that's wide than deep, less code that does a lot more things that's not obvious. Like, there's even like a little conversation that or email chain from Carmack and that John Blow has in his devlog that kind of talks about that. And I didn't always agree with it, but I've kind of, the more I've done coding, especially professionally, like that's, the more I kind of appreciate having like the full context of what's being done explicitly made, even if it requires some repetition, because at least it's not like, it's very finite what you're actually doing. So cognitively, it's like the less indirections or less removed you are from what's actually going on, the easier it is to kind of understand the scope of what can possibly be mutated or done. And there's times for it, but here it's not a big deal. 1920 by 1080, yeah, that's fine. And then we have to make a new player layer mask, which I'm not even sure what we want to do with Unity. Just found you yesterday, so I didn't really know how far into making it you were. Yeah, no, I'm pre-production right now. Repository, what's up, guys? It's good to see you, Terrell. Such top sure, Mr. Cozy. Yeah, I saw you online. I got excited to pair program. Hope that you feel better soon. Thank you, Roberto. Yeah, let's do some pair programming. I'm always down for that. Now, that ideal pair programming is just you guys, two people, two machines coding on their own stuff. That's cool. Not the nightmare pair programming where it's like one monitor, one screen, and two guys within one cubicle. That sounds like a little nightmare. Oh, man. Post-process. What am I doing? I was doing something. Right, layers. That's what we're doing. I realize I have this off. The microphone for the speaker is off. Yeah, and I have nothing for player. There's definitely some empty slots. I went from 7 to 12 and 13. So maybe we can make 8 the player. 8's a nice normally it is, but this is inclusive. It doesn't matter, it's just a number. We're not gonna get superstitious about numbers. Okay, sick. Okay, cool. So now we know for sure 8 is player. Also, speaking of which, I need to make I have like a static class for like general tags and stuff like that, but it's within the dev kit assembly, and honestly, I'm regretting more and more having like an actual separation of assemblies. It's kind of annoying. It kind of makes life easier just to be like, hey, they're all one compilation unit. But yeah, whatever. Though I think this should be fine. Yep. I think this is fine because it's within the same assembly, I think. So I can do player mask, and that should just work. Yeah, that should be good. All right, perfect. And then we have this. We have global textures, which is great. You can change the name to player ignore, right? Yeah. So cool, the camera's gonna cull for that now instead. And player occlusion cam, there we go. And we just need original camera. Beautiful. And we're good to go, man. I think, at least. Let me rename this to be not redundant, though. Update dimensions when resolution is changed. Yeah, update dimensions when resolution is changed. That's a thing we have to do as well. We'll deal with that later. I just want to see how this works. Oh, and we also need to set the, we have to pass this data to the GPU as well. We're not doing that, are we? Yeah, we're only doing, what are we doing? Yes, global shader property. Yeah, no. And then fog ignore. And we're overriding, yeah, we're overriding a general property that exists. Okay. Did you do 2Cs or I can't remember. I can't remember what I did. And then we have this occlusion draw property we need to make, which I'm going to yoink that because I think that just works as a good name. And then we're going to do... I'm going to catch up with chat in a second, guys. 1 second. We're going to call this player... Honestly, it doesn't have to be player. It could be just occlusion draw. Because other things could be overdrawn depending, like enemies or stuff like that. So maybe calling this player was not a great idea. Maybe you want to use a different term to make this more specific to what we're doing. Yeah. All right, let me catch. What's going on here, guys? Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. Let's see here. And I'm learning C. Let's go, Draco. Yeah, Draco. C is fun, man. I'm using C++ for another project, but I'm trying to treat it more and more like C. There's something about C, the simplicity of C that I do enjoy. You're right, companion programming may be a better term. Let's have fun and get some... Yeah, let's go, Roberto. Companion programming, that's tight. Oh, so what's up? Surprised? Most of you want to mess around with 2D sprite stuff, though from my understanding C isn't for that, but it's like a baseline code that is helpful to learn first. Nah, you can do that. You can make your own C, like... Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me open something. Like, this is C++, but like, I'm treating it the same way as C, as you do C. Your project might be more verbose, but like, everything, like so much of what's been done, games have been written in C. It's not that crazy, and if you want to do it and you find it interesting and passionate, you can do it, dude, and you can make pretty decent things, you know? Like, I know for a fact it'll be a very good learning experience, but you can do, like, C, there's a reason C is like the backbone for so much in terms of, you know, software and games and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, But yeah, it's like to hear, man. What are you making? I'm just making, so let's talk about this. So we have, I'll show you the game currently, because I think it should run fine. I'm assuming. What's up, Nasir? Mr. Nasir. While I'm at work, I got on Hacker Typer and press F. If you work, I would think I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I used to do that in high school, but that was always fun. So we have this game that we've been working on, and we got some big stuff done, like Cache Shadow and all that stuff. So that's working, and it's good, and it's pretty sick, dude. But now the next thing I want to work on is occlusion overdrawing. So when I say occlusion overdrawing, right now you can see the player perfectly fine. If I were to, let's say, have them be, am I actually, yeah, like here, for example, right? If I were to move here where the player is hidden, the player is currently occluded. You can say that. They're hidden from the camera. And what I want to do is that when this kind of scenario happens, we draw either an outline or just the shape of the player and maybe a solid color so you can see the player even when they're covered up by the environment. So that's what I mean by occlusion overdrawing. So that's what we're working on right now. And that's a camera. We're making a little depth map to a camera that only looks for the depth of the player, so we can do this kind of comparison in the GPU side of things when doing the post-processing on the screen output. That's the main thing we're doing here. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Az. I appreciate that, man. That is a funk option. What would the funk option do? How'd it look? I'm down. I just learned AI. What do you mean? What do you mean you learned AI engineering? Like, I'm not like there's like a difference, right? There's like people who are like, oh, I do AI, and really it's just like a wrapper to like an API that they call. But there's like people who are like, oh no, I'm actually building something, in C or C++ or whatever, and actually building my own model and and that kind of thing. And I don't know, like it could be either one of those categories. I don't know, man. Or something in between using like, Python or some models that already exist and it's much more oriented around training a model and that kind of thing. I think you just broke 5K on YouTube? Oh, that's crazy, man. I know we were close the other day. I completely forgot that we were close to that milestone. That's crazy, man. I'm not dogging on you though. I'm not dogging on you, man. I'm just curious, like where are we? Where that lies. Neither one is bad either, man. Use a fragment and geometry shaders for the outline of the player. I'm not gonna do geometry shader though. I'm just gonna do a fragment shader, dude. I built a lot of projects. Okay, just understood AI engineering a few moments ago. I use Python. Okay, cool. Yeah, he reached chat on Pomodoro. What's Pomodoro? Oh, are you talking about like that? There's like a technique where you program for a certain amount of time and then you. I'm not doing that explicitly, but I'm trying to do that. Pomodoro cozy. I should use a Pomodoro timer though. That'd be great. Good to know. I've been trying to get a response for what seems like multiple streams. I'm sorry, North. My bad, man. How are you doing today? I'm doing good, North. Do you only read chat on your Pomodoro or what? Nah. I just read whatever pops up here. So if I've been missing you, my bad, man. I get so wrapped up. Though I'm kind of happy because today's a little bit slower of a stream. There's this weird thing that happened where like before I didn't get that many people, so I could see every chat very easily. But I started having streams where there's a ton of people, and this thing happened where, like, I can't read every chat, and that's like a weird thing for me. Like things just fall through the cracks, and sometimes I'll go through stream like VODs just to see like, hey, how much did I miss? I'm like, oh my goodness. But today seems to be a more relaxed, laid back, not as popular day, which I'm honestly kind of fine with. On the one hand, I like big numbers, but on the other hand, it's kind of nicer to actually have a chat that I can reasonably get through and respond to. So he reads on the chat. Yeah. I want an AI engineer cozy. So I think that's just human engineering at that point. Goes great with pasta. How often do you stream? I'm usually like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. We'll see though. It varies. You're all good, bro. I get programming can be consuming. Yeah, and then coding on top of that is consuming as well. This is a whole thing. It is what it is. Turn on slow mode. 84 people. Yeah, that's pretty nutty, man. Give me a recommendation. Gotcha. I'll look into it then. No, I wonder what it does. Should I also stream in portrait? I stream programming and landscape at the moment. I used to do landscape as well. I'm not sure if there's that or some other settings, but hey, maybe give it a try, man, and see how it hits for you. Recently studied C# Basic. It's more clear and detailed than Python, in my opinion. Well, I think the thing is, Python is I have this whole thing where I just genuinely dislike dynamically typed languages. And I think statically typed languages are just better in general for dealing with structure and complexity. Dynamically typed languages opens you up to a bunch of different types of bugs that can arise that, would normally just be a compiler message or error, or even like an error within your IDE that says, hey, you can't do that. So it's a different type of way of thinking as well, because you're thinking in terms of types and you're kind of defining. It forces you to start thinking in terms of designing APIs for people to use. Whereas dynamically typed languages, you just kind of like have this glob that you can mutate and do stuff with, and there's better tools nowadays, like there's PyCharm and whatnot, and that has some better detection for that kind of thing. And there's attempts to fix JavaScript through either TypeScript transpiling or Kotlin transpiling, but there's still weird things that emerge. It's just better to I think it's better just to, especially for your first language, start off with a statically typed language and just learn how to deal with that. Like Rust, which are dynamically and statically typed. I don't like Rust. I dislike for different reasons. I just don't like the borrow checker. I keep in mind I've used Rust significantly. Like it's cool and it's a nice, easy environment to work with. And like Rust is not even. It's not that. I wouldn't even like what part of Rust is really dynamic, honestly, because I'm a little bit. Even though I've used it for a good amount of time, I'm not gonna call myself expert either, because I was using it within a specific application use case. So there's other use cases. Like I know Rust has like the type inference things, and that's one thing, but that's not really dynamically typing. Like you're still defining stuff in memory. How did you become so good at C# and programming in general? Just time, man. Time in the saddle, and then just being surrounded with people who are smarter than you, and you just learn about things. Like, I actually got really good at because my job, honestly. I got exposed to a bunch of ideas like that I never heard of, like metaprogramming, and other just principles from that. Because it's like one thing to learn stuff like in a classroom. It's a different thing to actually see it used in practice and actually have to solve a problem using this stuff. But yeah, I'd say just surround yourself with people who are much more knowledgeable than you, and if you can, be surrounded by them in a context that forces you to actually work with them as well, like a project or a game jam maybe, or anything. You'd be surprised how much tidbits of knowledge you get over time just from being surrounded by different people. also don't use Rust because of the borrow checker, but I find the idea of everything being private and constant great for writing efficient and safe code. Kind of. I mean, like, there's some things it gets in the way of. Like, if you're trying to do super cache coherent things, and it kind of throws up problems there, depending on how you... And it forces you to architect things in a particular way, and a lot of times to get more tighter performance gains, you end up having to kind of write unsafe Rust. I mean, it depends on, like, what order of magnitude, right? Because just by virtue of it being like a like low-level language compiled like C or C++, it's already significantly faster than the other languages, but then there's like another tier of performance you can try to achieve, and getting that kind of requires you to do weird stuff that kind of defeats the purpose of it. But like in general, if you're writing something that's doesn't need that crazy order, and you know, and if it's much more like an enterprise thing or something that needs to have that that's not going to be changing very much, and it's going to be largely a static system, then yeah, I think it has its use cases. What's the game about? I can show you some gameplay. 1 second before. So you're currently rage baiting Anuska? What do you mean? That's good advice. You know what else is good advice? Reading chats. Thank you. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, this is what the game looks like. We're gonna be doing occlusion overdrawing. Probably now, actually. Actually, you know what? I think I'm passing the data I need to pass for this. So maybe I can just go into the camera pipeline shader and modify the fragment and add like an occlusion function. What does this need? Yeah, we just make another section just for this. Oh, we need to set color values, don't we? That's fine. We're going to use a similar signature to this bad boy. Actually, I think we just need the same inputs as the fog one. I think they should be the same. Yeah, they're the same. So we have the main color, we have the UV, and I think I even added this to the wrong, because this actually should be used within this shader. And we're going to be doing kind of something very similar to what we do here for the fog, but now it's going to be used for whether or not we should draw the occlusion. So it's still in development. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Noah. A dungeon type game in which you have to defeat bosses, kind of, but not really. It's much more like a speedrunning 3D platforming game where you have to clean up the environment and the world. I'm glad, Aniska, that this inspires you. Oh, I don't have my candles. I like the smell. Have you created shader art and GPU programming with OpenCL or CMCUDA Vulkan? No, I haven't done that. I've been wanting to do some Vulkan things, but no. The most I do is just shader stuff for game surfaces or image processing and stuff for my own game engine. But it's all in the context for games. I haven't done much things with CUDA. Sounds cool though, because it's like the idea of using C++ on the GPU and just using those structs to interact with things is cool, but that's more computationally oriented, and I like the visual stuff. I like making things that are pretty. You know, I might be kind of a superficial guy, but sue me. Like, I like making things that look cool. So what are we gonna have here? We're gonna have our depth value from the true depth. Oh my god, what is this slop I have here? Oh, that's for the CRT. Okay, we're just gonna avoid that for right now. We're gonna ignore this. I'm gonna just yoink actually a lot of logic from here, because I think it's just worth having. And we're just gonna be fundamentally changing one thing here, which is what we're sampling. Text 2D my depth. Okay, the UV, and we have this. I need to change the name. I don't know why I chose my depth. This is the true depth value, and then instead of fog ignore, we're gonna be using occlusion draw, and then occludable depth. Or maybe just call it occlude. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna change this to occluded value raw. And this is the depth for the occluded object, and then the depth, the occluded object, like the object that can be overdrawn, and then the actual depth nearest to the camera. And if the actual depth is less than this one, we do the draw. And that's going to be as simple as just, yeah, we're not doing this. What are we doing here? Why are we doing this ternary operator? Why are we doing all this business? This is for debugging stuff. We're not going to do that. Our occlusion color we're going to use is going to be like, I don't know, let's make it blue. And we're going to make this a float. And it's just going to be if we overdraw if depth is less than occluded draw value. And then we change this. And then we return main. I could just make this an in-out thing, I think, but that's okay. So maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. We're gonna find out now. Oh, I didn't change the player layer, did I? So they're not gonna be subject to this whatsoever. But I think we could just change this in runtime. So let's see if this works, and then I'm gonna check chat in a second, guys. My bad. We get lost in the sauce sometimes, you know? You can't get mad at me. I get lost in the sauce. This object only. It's not doing the thing. It's not doing the thing. I'm not seeing the behavior, the intended behavior that I sought out. So I'm assuming this might have to do with the camera, how we set up the camera. All right, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna check now. Just making sure everything's good here and it matches the camera perspective and projections. Yep. Okay. So I don't think that's the issue. All right, 1 second. Let me catch up. Oh, what's going on? Peak. Thank you, Archie. His previous keyboard was also very pretty. Yeah, I have my Ergo keyboard that I use normally. My little Ergo keyboard that has, that's one half of it. And it has like a little pie on it. It has a pie on a little pie there and a little slice right here. Maybe you see it better here, I'm not sure. Yeah, probably not. Whatever. But she's my good old faithful. My daily driver, the money maker. This is the keyboard I use for fun. And late, Nightbot, empty your cubicle, head out for the digital door. What did Nightbot do? Why are we firing Nightbot, Terrell? Can you code and make your character turn into a supervillain? I mean, that's less so a code issue and much more of a design thing. But can you? Yeah, you can. I can do that. I have the ability. In the pasta sauce. I have cozy blankets if you can cuddle. That sounds nice. I'm a little bit sick right now, guys. I'm feeling more and more sick. Like a little fever and the throat being weird, but oh man. There's something about being sick that makes you appreciate your bed more. Your subscriber, thank you, Noah. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. There's more keys. Yeah. Is there a set story outline or storyboards for your game? It's a general beat. I have a story in mind. I don't want to share too much of it though, but in general, it's just a world that's become stained, and you're a cleaner who's there to clean it up and put all these pieces of the world together, and there's a narrative there. There's a little narrative. And I refuse to say it. I'm withholding that information, not because I think there's something big there, but also because I just kind of want to reserve the right to change it if I want to. I guess I always have that right, but I don't know. I like managing expectations. So we have the player. Something always goes wrong with this. And this is correct. So we change this to player. Though really, I should actually just change. Yeah, so that's for the grab, or for the old wall jumping mechanic. I might bring it back, I don't know. Let's see here. I'm gonna change this tag to be Occlusion, overdraw, because I think that's a better name than just player, because there might be other objects you want to have. Yeah. That's more of a mouthful, but I think that's more correct. So I like that more. So we have that. And if we go back into our function, our post-processing function, we have this field here, occlusion draw property. So we have player occlusion cam. That we're gonna change that to occlusion overdraw. I spelled depth wrong. Let's fix that. And set parent. Yep. Mirror all the camera properties. This I might separate out. That's like redundant. We use the player mask, which we're gonna change to occlusion. Oh my goodness. Overdraw, let's say. Oh, we're using the wrong... We didn't use overdraw, that's why. We're using the wrong layer. Okay, hopefully the bug was simply just that. And everything else is easy and hunky-dory and life goes on. Would you consider programming to be art? Ooh, that's a toughie, man. Because there's like two definitions of art. There's like lowercase art, which is just a trade. And in that sense, I totally see programming as art. Then there's the capital A art. That's like much more about like like something much more profound. And that I'm not that I feel I see cool things emerge from it. But that's a whole different rabbit hole, because you have to talk about the distinction between these two things, and then the distinction between like kitsch art and stuff like that versus the sublime art, and there's a whole thing of art history that you get into, and oh no. But there's a cool video about this topic, about programming art, and how they talk about some cool technical things you could do within that, just for the sake of it. And oh my goodness, what is going on here? Why is this? We broke things, didn't we? We broke things more than I realized. But it's a simple break. I did this in the wrong function. Yeah, I think I might know what I did. Get out of here, man. Get. Oh my goodness. Or did I? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. Let me just verify I'm doing things correctly. And it's one bit shifted by the amount. And it's one bit shifted by 8. Wait, why am I using 13 over there? That's weird. Oh, this kind of perplexed me even more. What? Wait, why are we doing things this way? Also, let me catch up and chat real quick. Hey man, gotta go in bed now. I've got school tomorrow, but I'll make sure to check out your other content later. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. God bless from Italy, everyone. Hey, God bless, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you, Morgan. Great to see you. Is Morgan here? Oh my goodness, Morgan is here. What's going on, Morgan? Finally number 1 as she deserves. Oh, is she really? Wait. Let's verify this. Oh my goodness, Anuska, you're number 1. Congratulations. Welcome to number 1, Anuska. Welcome, Morgan. We just fired Nightbot. I don't understand why you guys did that either. What happened? To my glorious M? What do you mean you're a glorious M? The Rock while singing. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, that joint. Oh, I'm passing the wrong camera. No, this is the correct camera. Occlusion draw, target camera, yeah. I feel like I'm spelling this wrong though. So let's go fix that. Make depth cam, we make the fog depth cam, we make the player occlusion depth cam. What more do you need, game? Video game? What more do you need? Honestly, I might just make like... No, because I still want the player to normally be subject to lighting. I feel like there's a way to avoid having to draw this whole thing over again. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to think about this a little bit. Oh, you know what? This could just be part of this. Keep life even simpler. No need to have this parameter. Yeah, keep it simple. Okay. So this is very clear what we're doing. So I think it might be an issue in the shader side. Because I believe overdraw mask is correct. And I know why this doesn't work and why we use 13. Why are we using 13? I'm still perplexed by that. Is that overdraw thing really on the layer 13? Because I need to update that mask. What's up, OPM? And what's up, wrong-sided? Good to see you. Dude, that's kind of crazy. I still can't get over the channel. Like, this is kind of insane. I'm not sure you saw Morgan, but we passed like 5K. That was crazy. I'm like, that doesn't feel real, honestly. Now I'm gonna start going to Starbucks and walking in there and being like, "Do you know who I am? Where is my latte for free?" And they're gonna be like, "Sir, this crazy man, get him out of here. Who are you?" I just want to go insane with the most minuscule of like internet recognition. But yeah, good to see you guys. Wait, is this whole thing setting up at 16 bits of RAM? No, 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I have like I'm currently using 16 gigabytes. We have 46 available. I guess because I have 64 gigs of RAM, but I'm assuming it's like not including the stuff that's used by the operating systems or swap. I think it's swap that's being subtracted from that. I don't know. You're climbing up. It's still weird, man. It's still weird to see. It's very odd. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's very weird. I appreciate the company, guys. I'm just. It's very I'm just a man yelling at my computer screen, or getting angry at, or yesterday last stream when I was struggling with the draw shadows, I was like, I'm just a man yelling at shadows. What was I doing? I'm verifying the layer. Yep, that's what I was doing. And the player sprite occlusion is 12. Fog ignore is. What is going on? What do I have occlusion? What is this mask occlusion for? It's on, so there's something for occlusion that's on layer 12, and then you have something called fog ignore at 13. And this is what we're using. But we go here, that's not where. This seems to be used, it's a self-referential thing. And occlusion is defined up here. What is going on? What kind of malarkey is this? Okay, I'm just gonna investigate this later. I know there's something probably important I'm using that for. I just forgot what it was. And then now we can just do layers and then fog, ignore, mask, and hopefully everything just works as intended. And we'll worry about this later. And we create this new depth object, we set it as parent, we add component, set the properties for the camera, we set the culling mask for this, we set the depth texture mode, we do occlusion draw, the target texture, and we create a new texture. At the current resolution, we set the global texture here. And then this is used somewhere. This is for the camera post-processing pipeline, yeah. So, okay, our data here should be correct. I'm willing to bet that this is correct. So now it's just a matter of, I'm assuming the issues in the shader itself now, which is, not the end of the world. This is probably more easier to debug than the alternative. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's easier than the alternative. So, I don't know why we're doing this. You can just return directly. Alert between main color, this, and then... Yeah, it's implicit casting, so it's fine. And then we do overdraw if Let me make sure these values are the same. Is this occlusion texture the same name we used here? Occlusion draw, yep, that's the correct name. So if that's the case, this is the correct sampler 2D we're using. We're using the correct provided texture, UV coordinate, yeah. And then we check to see if we occlude things if depth is less than the occluded value, unless it's like flipped, but then everything else would be, would it be? I don't trust anything anymore. Let's return, let's just make sure if we're even getting the occluded value. First, let's actually use depth first and verify how this is working. Also, let me make sure this is being used. We didn't call the function. That's what's going on here. We didn't call the function, guys. That was the thing. We implemented the whole thing. We didn't call the function. That was the whole, that was, okay, so that was easier than I expected. Okay, hopefully that's just the end of the story here and it just works. How many times, like, we do the hard thing, right? And just the easy thing we forget to do. we forget the easy thing. Okay, let's see if this works now. Love the setup. Thank you, Mark Draws. Oh no. We're in blue world now. We're in blue world. Okay, maybe we flip to sign then? Maybe we do the flip. Or maybe that's wrong. That seems weird. So let's see what's even happening here. Because I feel this should be right. But let's verify first the value of our depth value. And it should return black and white where it's darker closer to the camera and wider the further away we are. That checks out. Okay, cool. Now let's get the value of the occluded value. And that's the player. They're still quite dark though. But I wonder if that's fine in terms of precision. And then everything is like forever away white. So the final composite is if the player or the depth of the player in this case, the actual depth of this value here, oh, if the depth is greater than the no, this is correct. If the occluded value, which is the player, this is the player value, the current value there, and the depth, which is the closest to the camera, if this is greater than this becomes 1, and then we draw blue instead. But now everything is just blue. We're in blue world. So why is this the case? I'm guessing because okay, I think it's due to the normalization that happens here. Or I think it's part of that. So we actually should be using raw depth, I think. And use occluded raw. Because I think it's normalizing things and weird stuff happens from that, I think. Nope. Nope, we're still in blue world. Still in blue world. Not blue world. Okay. Interesting. Alright, let me catch up in chat, guys. 1 second. Probably an overflow or depth buffer. No, it's not, Greg. It's not that. That's not what's going on. This is something to do with how we normalize depth values. And the values are read from it. Blinking cursor thoughts? What about blinking cursor? Learn Vim. I wish I was not lazy. It just takes like you're gonna be broken for a week or two, but then it's worth it, and then you get over it, and then it's great, and life continues on. Yeah, the blue screen of death texture. I just want the actual color code for that. Thank you, Marat Mesnikov. I appreciate it. Thank you. This episode warm. Thank you, Anuska. I'm glad you dig it. Be worth it to make the switch. I mean, you can use an IDE if you're like, I'm using Writer. This is a high level, like a very chunky IDE, but you can install Idea Vim and it'll work, and that'll be a nice, you know, because if you're changing like Vim and then Vim motions are two different things. Vim motions is just a way of navigating your IDE and manipulating text. Whereas Vim or NeoVim is a whole thing unto itself. Like you have to start building what you want, or maybe get something like Lunar Vim or other, you know, things where they come pre-built with a bunch of stuff, plugins added onto it. But if you're gonna use just straight up NeoVim, like you're gonna have to start looking through plugins. You have to, unless you want to write raw, but you probably want to get some IntelliSense or some code error detection, stuff like that. So you probably want to get an LSP, and you're gonna have to probably get some other things like a fuzzy finder or whatnot to navigate things pretty quickly or easily. And there's just a bunch of things you'd end up having to do that's not Vim motions itself. If your goal is just to get this navigation of like your IDE or your text manipulator, then like start with Idea Vim. It works for VS Code, it works for, or there's equivalents for VS Visual Studio or most IDEs, and then go from there. Get active on Twitter. What do you think, Morgan? I have a Twitter. I have like social media. The thing is like, okay, have you guys read or watched Lord of the Rings? So do you know about this? You've seen this guy, right? Denethor, the Steward of Gondor. And he saw how he goes crazy, either in the movie or in the books. Spoilers, I'm sorry guys, anyone who hasn't seen Lord of the Rings, but it's a plot point. And like in the books, it fleshes out more why he went mad, right? And it's the thing is using this Palantir to get information. And the thing is, it's not like a closed channel. It's an open channel where Sauron can like communicate there. And for him to engage and get information, he has to like use his will, weigh his will against Sauron's will, and like resist him to do the things he wants to do. And over time, he's strong-willed and he's able to resist it. But over time, it just kind of like eventually just breaks the dude. And why am I illustrating this whole situation here? That's kind of the way I think about social media. Like I do have X or Blue Sky and whatnot, and Instagram and all that stuff, and I used to use it. The thing is though, like my quality of life just kind of goes down because there's just more things just trying to like have right access to my brain that I don't want to give it right access. And I know there's like, you know, you want to communicate with people online or get tied into a community, but there's value in doing that as well. I used to enjoy that a lot. But am I even logged in right now? But like, I don't know. For me, I enjoy the position where I'm at right now, where I'm just like, I'm not gonna deal with this. My mind is a temple. I'm not gonna subject it to this stuff and get into this dopamine cycle or get into this you know, or even worse, get into this comparison thing or whatever. Or get into these social media algorithm pipelines. Like, no. I'd rather stick with what's immediately in front of me, the problems that are practical that I can solve. And if there's people who want to change my mind or, you know, who I want to get information from or just have that kind of thing, I'd rather just do that in person or maybe like on Discord. That's like a degree closer to like, I don't know, a more personal relationship. But giving an algorithm or strangers, maybe not strangers, but like an algorithm, that's the biggest thing I dislike is an algorithm having like so much dictation over that. And I legitimately feel like, mentality wise and everything, I feel so much better having spent this past like year kind of just away from it, or this past couple, especially this past like 6 or 8 months, super off from it. Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't use social media yet. It's just for more attraction. You don't even need to spend time on it. Just schedule everything. Yeah, I should probably. I know there's schedulers. I should probably do that, especially like the dev updates things. But again, energy, context switching. I don't want to deal with that. I should like pay someone like $20 a week or something, just to like, hey, do these posts. Be the thing that protects me from, not even protects me, just be the person who's gonna do that energy of like thinking about social media and doing that sort of thing. That way I can just economize my time towards just coding and, you know, things of that nature. But I appreciate that though. That is a good idea though, because I am very bad with that. But hopefully at least this illustrates my trepidation with getting back in there. What's good, Skydame? It made orc logic, yeah. We're fixing out new Sky. There's a bug we're dealing with. Let's talk more DACA. Yeah, you can hire people actually do that on Twitter. I bet. Probably just go on Fiverr or something, or something, and do that. Okay, how do we solve this problem here? We normalize this based off the fog depth distance, and this is depth of what? Linear 0, 1 depth. Okay. And then we have this disgusting thing I do here. What is this? We can simplify this. Fog times ignore coefficient. And the ignore coefficient is what? If ignore is greater than, or this can be just a Boolean. Like this is a Boolean expression I could just cast. Like if this is true, 1, and if that's dumb. I can just, what was I doing? When did I think just to do a ternary operator instead of just evaluating this into a normal expression? But we're doing the same thing. We're doing ignore fog, and then we're using the raw values. So that's how we solved it here, is just using the raw values. There's one more condition though, which is if it's maxed out. I think that's the part I'm missing or neglecting here, and why it's all, because like this. Okay, I think I know what's going on here. So overdraw or occluded. Yeah, occluded value. You'll notice that the player has like a reasonable value, but then like it's just a pure black or pure white background, and oh, that's hurting my eyes. So it's like 1, right? The furthest value possible, and that's always going to be higher than that's always going to be higher than the actual hit value. So we want to ignore that and just get the player value. I think that's what's going on here, and so that's why this expression I believe is failing and drawing everything blue, because in essence everything is being occluded. The thing I need to think about though is that and okay, I think we need to add a conditional here to be like, hey, also if occluded value is not equal to white or 1. So as long as this value isn't 1, we use it. Otherwise, we don't do the overdrawing. Okay. Now everything is oh my goodness. See, I thought I was smart here, but in fact, did I do that up here? Did I do that factoring? Ignore depth. Yeah, we do the same comparison. Yeah, okay, cool. That's cool. At least the code mimics. The logic is like very... It kind of converges to the same value. So if occluded equals... I mean, this is going to be the same thing. We're inverting the expression, but it's going to result in the same kind of behavior. Where if raw depth is less than the occluded value, and the occluded value is not 1. Okay, good so far. Hey, look, guys, it works. It works. Look at that. Beautiful. Now if the player is blocked for any reason, we have this overdrawing effect happening now. Beautiful. And then we can just set some consts to dictate what the occluded value is. So like if it's a bad guy, we might want to draw a certain color, and if it's a good guy, like the player, we draw a different color. I'm not sure how I want to go about doing that though, because like that's information I'd like to encode in the depth map, but like I might just have to do a command buffer and do some stuff with that, so that we can still have the depth value, but then also encode color information into that as well, or something. I don't know. I'm happy with this though. This is really cool, dude. I'm excited. That's a fire game, not like. Thank you, Skydame. All right, let me catch up in chat. I'm sorry, guys. I got caught in the sauce for a second. How can you hack an online game that needs purchase? I'm not the man to ask that. Mostly because I'm not much into online networking. But with given resources within my country, it's not possible and to happen. And since there's a lack of teachers that are facilitated in my country, that's quite hard to learn. If I'm also correct, my country can't really access Harvard resources. Well, what's going on here? Low-key not good. My dream is to be a game developer, and so far I've taken the subject known as information technology, and I'm like struggling to do coding. Any tips on how to overcome this? So I'm not sure about the coursework you're doing. I will say this though. Like, first of all, can you confirm to me that you have like a computer that can run a game engine and coding tools? Like, can you run Visual Studio or whatchamacallit, or VS Code or something? What keyboard is that? Yeah, you got me, Morgan. Thank you. Oh, who got it first? Yeah, Morgan. There's aimed to be a playtest in the Discord if anyone's interested. Oh yeah, we were planning to do that. In fact, I've been hearing some pings in the Discord, and I've been kind of bad at looking at it. But hey, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, OPM. Heck yeah. Much appreciated. Oh, we got in the show and tell. What we got going on here? Don't tell me it's the Obama thing. Oh my goodness, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Oh my goodness, dude. I like how there's a new technology and it's like, hey, let's make it draw Obama. Yeah, I can run something like Unreal Engine in the app you mentioned. Okay, good. So like you have the tools to make an engine, right? And now it's just a matter of knowledge. And here's the thing, like you have YouTube, so you have access to a bunch of information there, like brackeys or whatnot, or there's a bunch of tutorials for whatever engine you're going to be using. The thing is that like so much of what you're going to learn, like most of what I do now, I never got it from a teacher. I never got this information from like a classroom. Everything I'm doing here, this coding stuff, is all stuff that I just had to learn on my own or through peers, people who I'm surrounded by who also do this kind of thing, and getting some breadcrumbs of knowledge from them. But this is not something that you're going to get from like a classroom, or unless you have a really good classroom or something, but that teaches this kind of practical stuff. But like, that's the first thing, right? Don't get stuck thinking that you don't have the resources you need to get to like this kind of level of understanding, because you already have the resources you need to. So that's like for the first thing, right? You can do this, man. You're able to do this. You have the things you need to do. The thing you just have to start doing is just working and grinding. Set a goal for yourself for a game, and then start trying to find the knowledge to make that thing happen. And then you either get it or you don't. And if you don't, okay, maybe you may have to change the goal, or maybe you have to do approach, or maybe you have to get help from someone. Okay. Either online or in a Discord, like a lot of resources. But that's kind of what you're gonna have to do. Set a goal, try to get it. Try hard, and if you don't get there, it's okay. Maybe it's time to make a new goal. Maybe make a new game, or prototype a different type of game or something. And there's a lot of opportunities for that kind of stuff. Like there's Ludum Dares that happen very regularly. That's a week-long game jam. And you can just that's a great opportunity both to like actually try making a game within a short amount of time, which is important, especially early on for you, and also get hooked up with other people who are also trying to do the same thing and probably have more experience than you, and you'll be able to learn from them online. So that's like the advice I would give. And the first part I want to emphasize, because I don't want you to like think that you're behind, or that you're at like it's impossible for you because you don't have the things you need to do. No, you have all the resources you need to do the thing you want to do. I'm a fan of Monster Hunter, and I kind of wish there was a 2D version of a game like it. So when I do sprite stuff, yeah, I want to do it with that in mind. Draco, what you just did right now, that do thing, like I struggle with that, because I end up saying that quite frequently in conversations, and I'm like, I'm not trying to say DD mega doo. I'm just, when I do the thing, like I catch myself and I'm like stun locked, and I can't think of a better alternative, so I just end up saying it anyways, and it's the whole thing, man. Okay, 6. So we have occlusion overdrawing, and then let me add the occlusion color. We can even do something cooler here. We can have a texture, like a dithering texture, and use that. Ooh, that would be cool actually. If we, instead of a solid block of color, we actually have like a dither texture that we can use to ooh, I like this a lot actually. Cause then we can just use that to sample this. So before I break things, let's just save what we have, and then I'm gonna make, let's say what I have. I can't type. Okay, cool. So I should be free to do the changes I want to do then. Is coding and hacking different? So it's weird. There's like different connotations to that. Back in the day, they're the same thing. Like Richard Stallman has this definition of hacking, where hacking was just like making things for fun, throwing things together, and that can be code or it can be physical things. It's just working on projects. That's what hacking used to mean. But nowadays, hacking has this separate connotation of like infiltrating and breaking in and doing, and it has like an illegal kind of connotation to it as well. So now there's been kind of this split where it feels like hacking has this connotation of breaking into things or doing things that shouldn't be done or whatnot. Whereas programming or coding just is much more has like the idea of just building something or creating something, right? So it used to be the same thing. It feels different now. Wait, Samurai, you're from South Africa? Is this the first time you mentioned this on stream? That's sick, man. Oh, so what's up, Gregory? Like Ghidra might be useful for catching particularly pesky, difficult bugs and glitches. If you have like a normal, just binary, yeah. I never actually tried Ghidra, but it seems really cool that you can just reverse engineer. You can just get like this. You just get the C++ project, decompile the code from like an application, and then, I mean, you still have to like label and understand what's going on, but it's still cool that that's a thing you can do. Metal programming? Nah, I haven't had like bare metal. Like in C and C++, kind of, but nothing that extreme. I get you also from here, but given our economy, I wouldn't be sure on which province you're from, but recently there's been a lack of teachers in my province and a lot of other problems. Has a big IT industry, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was kind of surprised because a couple years ago, there's like a lot of hype around development in South Africa, and I knew some people who were going there for that kind of creating like a tech pipeline over there. I was actually kind of considering maybe even doing either collaborating with them or maybe even going there to do some stuff, but I'm scared of flying. But no, there's something I really do want to do, some kind of teaching thing at some point or mentorship program or something. But like, here's the thing, right? I think most people want a teacher who like has a structured classroom and just drops all this information. But I think the most valuable things for programming emerges when you're working in a project. Like you have your own project you're working on, and then you have someone who's like a consultant or like a consultant for your project. Like I think that's much more like that's what's been very beneficial for me is when I'm working on my own thing or working on a task assigned to me, but there's someone who's still there who I have the agency to try to approach it how I want to, but they're kind of there to give you some push or guidance, or maybe just give you a lecture about something specifically. But that's like, it's different because usually when they give a lecture, it's because it's tied specifically to what you're doing and you can apply it in that moment. Like there's this issue with classroom structures where like they front load all this information and like they give you assignments maybe to try to apply it, but it's not the same thing. They just hope that you're going to have this information in your brain, and then when you're out in the wild, you eventually remember to grab the thing from over here. It's very different when you're actually in the wild and you're working on a project and you encounter this problem, and then they give you that specific lesson for that particular situation. Because then all of a sudden, it's solving a real problem you're facing, and when you solve it in that case, you actually remember it and it sticks, and you have a better, deeper understanding of this concept. Like you can learn about interfaces in a classroom, but until you actually find a place where, hey, doing a strategy pattern makes sense, it's not going to click. That's just kind of how it is. We're going to make it a little dither texture. I wonder, hopefully it's not too jank. And then we're just going to do a white color. Yeah, hopefully that helps. And one advice I don't usually give in streams, but I now thinking back, I'm like, yeah, this is also very important. Be okay with don't focus on making things perfect. Be fine to do things the dumb way. Or if you think it's dumb, just do it anyways. You'll learn much more from doing things that way than the alternative. Where's MMDK, CCDK, and 3D assets. I'll make a new folder actually. So we have our jitter pattern, and now we can add another texture to this. And within the camera pipeline, you can load and set this. Maybe make this as private. Static texture, 2D. Also, let me catch up in chat real quick before I dive even further. Go to school in Quanteg has been much more easier to follow. Okay, Draco, that's cool, but that's also just the result of a smaller class. That's also another factor to it too. I learned at New Model Private College. Okay. LibSprite, ASprite. I'm using ASprite. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Morgan. I don't know which one of the two is better though. To my understanding, LibSprite is free, but it has less features. ASprite is paid, but it has much more features on it. That's what I remember. Key so loud. Sorry, Arun. So basically, if I want to hack a game, first I have to learn coding, probably. I don't know. Hacking a game. Like, if you're going to make a game, yeah. If you're going to hack, probably you should learn coding. Not that I endorse, like, black hat hacking. Ubuntu is in the South African logo, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, really? I do want to learn assembly at some point, because there's things we kind of do, because like there's like, have you Gregory, have you ever worked with AVX intrinsics at all? Do you support any soccer teams? Sadly not, Skydame. I'm very ignorant when it comes to sport. Oh, I'm glad you did it, Renee. Keys are cool. Okay, cool. Arun, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was a loud good or loud bad. You can hack technically using the Windows, but I mean, what are you typing in the Windows Notepad? Is that not code? Is a batch script not code? I haven't worked with AVX. Yes, that's the thing that kind of intrigued me was the fact that there's a bunch of like commands specific to your CPU that gives you a lot more power for vector instructions and can give you another level of like performance gains. That's like super cool to me, that idea. And I mean, you don't have to use assembly to do that. That's why the intrinsics like header files are there, but it piqued my interest to be like, okay, like how does this look like if we actually worked using assembly directly? Like, let's screw portability, stop thinking about supporting a bunch of hardware. What would it look like to make a game specifically for one architecture? Just for fun, just to see what happens. Cozy, you have motivated me to make a 2.5D. Let's go, Samurai. 5D games are sick. I have a huge history of doing this kind of stuff. I love it. I think it's super cool, and I don't see enough of it. Gotta make it happen. All right, guys, let me get some more water. Like I mentioned, I'm sick today. I'm feeling sick, and I'm getting like a little bit sicker progressively as I go through the stream. Not sick enough to make me get off stream yet, but because I still want to I want to do the thing I have in mind here. I have the vision for what I want to code, but I do need to get some water real quick. So let me put on my mask and get some water, maybe some snacks and stuff too, just to fuel up, so that you know, I don't degrade too quickly. And then we'll get back. I'm gonna continue here. So just like a minute or two, just to get some water and maybe use the bathroom or something. So be right back, guys. And while we wait, I'm gonna put on a track for you, so it's not just silence. Let me take out my CD and let me pick out a good track. 1 second. Okay, this bad boy, you're going here. And you know what? I'll let you guys choose. Which CD should we use? So this is CD2. We have CD1. Let's say this is CD1, 2, and 3. Yeah, 3 options so far. I need to burn some more. So I'm gonna make a poll in chat. You guys tell me which CD we're gonna use as I get some water, and then we'll make the decisions from there. So be right back. 1 second, guys. All right. I'm letting the lasagna cook for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go grab the food from upstairs. So we're letting the lasagna cook a little bit. And we have number two, okay. Number 2's the winner. Beautiful, guys. All right, at 3 number, right there. So which one I said was? 1, 2, 3. Wait a second. I only gave you these 3 options. Oh, because we played this one already. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so 2 it is then. So grabbing this bad boy. Let's see what's on there, because I kind of don't remember. I don't remember what disc 2 is. I like hearing the CD spin a little bit. You can hear yeah. I love hearing that. It's like, yep, you're working. Oh, it's a Windows soundscape thing. Very nice. Yeah, bell curve pole, yeah. Yeah. Don't, just learn C. Why? Cozy, what country do you code from? I'm in the US right now. Learn to love to struggle getting something right. If you're into easy coding isn't free. Yeah, that's kind of a big thing. Like, you're gonna have to get used to dealing with problems and bugs and the world's gonna make not any sense to you sometimes. Like, sometimes you're gonna feel like you're a crazy person, and that's just what programming is. Like, you're gonna feel like the crazy, insane person, and then eventually it's gonna click. But like, you're gonna have to get used to that. There's gonna be a lot of times in life where you're just gonna feel like the world is wrong and you're right, and you don't understand why you're wrong. And you just have to be patient and be understanding, and then eventually be willing to have your mind opened, and then things click, and then you solve it. Like, even with that sun casting, that shadow casting bug we were dealing with before, that was nasty. I felt crazy during the stream, but we walked away, came back the next day, felt better, more relaxed. I went to go eat some food at Olive Garden, and then I went to go see Back to the Future 40th anniversary screening with my dad. Great movie, never seen it before until then. Fantastic movie, dude. I love it. And I came back home, and we just coded. We just started from the basics to see what's the inputs, verifying what's going on there, and then what's the outputs. And before long, we figured out the crux of the issue, and But if you're not super into solving puzzles, I can see why that may not be appealing. T dither. That should be correct. And then we need make. And then we need to set, what do I call it here? What do I call you? Underscore dither texture. Simple. And then we load this. And then shaders at set global texture. Perfect. So we set our dither texture. Easy breezy. And now we can just add this extra little sauce of just sampling this texture, and then you know, use that as another conditional. Dither equals text 2D. That's gonna be a screen space thing, so we need to correct for that. I think we have to do ratio is gonna be equal to uv.x divided by uv.y. I think that's what we do. That's how we correct for it. Something like that, because it's gonna be squashed. But let's not preemptively fix this bug. Let's just let it be. We get our dither value, and then we do and dither equals so these conditions now. And then if we go here and play the game again and recompile, we just see something cool. And let me catch up in chat real quick, guys. Nice. Thank you, Rare. Senor Cozy asked us to choose between different discs, 1, 2, and 3. Ah. Yeah, that's what it is, Anuska. So we're playing disc 2 right now. Cozy, how did you learn again? What programming did you start? I started with C++ initially, and then I switched to GameMaker, and then that's what I did for a long period of time. And then I switched eventually to other stuff. Absolute zero torque. Well, that's how you're gonna start learning, man. You're gonna start learning how coding. You're gonna get exposed by osmosis. You're gonna walk out of the stream with a nice office in the basement of a building and a 5-figure job. Just by being here. That's totally what's gonna happen, guys, right? Am I right? That's how it works, right? No, I'm joking. Yeah, coding seems scary, but it's not. It just takes time. Like it's like soaking in a pool, you know? You start with your toes and you work your way down deeper into it, and then, you know, it's not as bad. Music's already, yeah, that's a disc music. That's disc 2. But people argue saying it in an Indian name, but I don't put an H, so it is a Russian name. Wait, what's going on here, Anuska? How many girls are his hostages? I selected 2. Oh, okay. No, that's not what the thing. Oh, that's cool. You can see the shadows in real time from the wipe. Oh, it's not doing the thing anymore. It's not doing the thing. Oh, tragic. And I'm pretty sure this is like a pure... Wait a second. What happened here? What happened here? Also, is this pure white? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. So I can just do this. I can do this. Save it. Okay, things don't seem to just work the way you want it to. Eh? Yeah, things don't seem to always work the way you want it to. Alpha is transparent. Okay, hopefully that's just the issue. And then let's apply, let's just apply the pixel preset I have here and make it 64. And then apply. Okay, I think my lasagna is done. Let me go grab my little lasagna bites. 1 second. Alright, lasagna acquired from Olive Garden. Beautiful. Some good old fried lasagna. Just what the body needs. Anuska sounds Russian to me. In a good way, of course. How would it sound bad in Russian in a bad way? You sound a little Russian there, buddy, with that name. Are you a commie? Are you a dirty commie? We just go into a full 1940s Red Scare. Yeah, that's Unity Engine, Shaw. Back in the 80s, yeah. Thank you, Samurai. In Office, though, I'm kind of jealous. I'm glad you dig it, man. Yeah, it's not that expensive to get this kind of thing, too. You can find old tech pretty cheap, reasonably out there in the wild. I'm gonna let this food cool down a little bit more. Okay, so what do we have going on here? So now we have our dither texture. It should be formatted correctly. We're using alpha as transparent. It is in the folder, what? Resources? And I don't think I misspelled it. So, I believe we should just be good to go. I believe I should just be able to resource load this bad boy. And, and there has to be a scale factor. That's the other part. So we have to have another float like scale factor. Which would be like a float to, I think that's what how we do use the ratio thing here, but let's just keep it a solid, I don't know. Let's just keep it a solid constant and multiply it, and then we'll go from there. Multiply UV by this value. And hopefully this just works. Thank you, Shah. Masum. Lasagna, yeah. No, we're not gonna do the mouth sounds. I heard there's some people who mouth sounds or eating or the lip smack, and it just kind of rubs them wrong. So I'd rather not make people feel uncomfortable without the need to. So I'm gonna try to eat off the mic. We're not gonna do that mukbang thing. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be testing occlusion, aren't I? Okay, it's just not doing what I want it to. But the beautiful thing is I can change this number and recompile, and it should be just fine. Okay. You're not doing the thing I want. Yes, it's not doing the thing I want. Did I type in correctly? Dither texture, shader property up, and I said shader, set global shader texture. Yep, set global texture. Then we use the ID, and we use the texture that we loaded from resources. That is correct. Why is this being modified? Is this being modified? No. Okay, no, we're good. It's correct. It's correct. I'm going crazy. Okay. So maybe the issue isn't that it's too big, but it's actually too small still. In which case we need to do like even a greater scale factor. Like let's do 500. Okay, I'm not seeing any changes. Do I need to divide it? Dude, I'm not seeing anything with this occlusion overdraw thing. I'm not seeing a hint. Okay, turn it back into a coefficient. Nothing, I'm not seeing the dither pattern. And dither equals float 4-1, or even just simpler, like, why am I doing this? I just need to have dot A be set to, ooh, that's not great. I just screen bombed you guys. Oh, this is a float 4, aren't you? So maybe that's the issue. I'm trying to compare it to a float 4, and it's just going to be, there we go. There we go. And then I can change this to, like, I don't know, find a reasonable value maybe. And it's going to be stretched to match the resolution of the screen. So we have to make this value be determinant based off of that. But we're getting much closer to what we want. And you have to do the screen ratio. But yeah, it's looking like a dither pattern. That's pretty cool. Now I just need to correct the ratio. And it's like a screen space like dither. I could do a bunch of different patterns with this too, but what's up, Jonathan Sangliana? Also Emmanuel King, good to see you, man. Cozy has his bodily needs. I know my dang bodily requirements. Fantastic food, though. But it's possible to make your own digital currency similar, if that's what you meant. I'm sorry, what's going on here? I'm very happy, man. I feel like we got some big stuff done this week. I can't get over this. I'm like, this feels so sick. Okay, this ratio, we need to apply this multiplicative though. So ratio is going to be a float 2. Hopefully this applies to both components. And then, what are we going to do? In general, the width is always going to be, usually going to be wider. So we're going to keep, what I think we're going to do is keep x1. So what do we need to do? We need to make since it's gonna be squashed like this, we need to make the x either the y longer or the x shorter. In this case, we're gonna do x divided by y, and that should produce a value greater than 1. And then we're gonna multiply this by ratio, and this should make the screen pixel, the dither pixels, okay, or just get rid of them entirely. Okay, not what I intended, but okay. Oh, because this is, okay, yeah, I see now. Does order of operations matter? Not sure. I should probably I should really just construct a new float 2 instead of hoping things work the way I want it to. Or maybe make this a float 2 explicitly to be 100% sure that this multiplication operation is going to be the way I expect it to be multiplied. Nope. So okay, I think it's happening correctly. So I think the issue's with the coefficient. Oh, because we're using the x and yeah, we'd have to use not the UV coordinate, but the actual screen size, 1080. And now produce the, yeah. I can't tell with my CRT. This is actually issued the CRT because it blends colors. So I can't tell and see if this is actually... Oh, look at that little lighting. This looks so nice, man. I can't tell how well this is working. Let me make this more obvious. Instead of using this humongous dither pattern, which is kind of dumb, we're going to use a different dither pattern. I'm thinking... It's not dumb. It's actually pretty standard fare. But we're going to do something a little bit different. I think we're going to use... I don't know. We can do like dots like this. You can do like a cool little design. Honestly, like, why am I making this humongous? I could just make this like what, 8 by 8 or 16 by 16 or something. Just to make it easier to loop. Yeah. And do like something like actually, I might probably make it even smaller. Let's make you 8 by 8 because we don't need anything complex. And then we can make this be tiled on both axes to make sure that this actually tiles correctly. I kind of like having a pattern like that, actually. Okay, let's save that. It's gonna reload the asset. Oh, it doesn't work now. Because your scale factor needs to change as well now. Let's see. Love sprites? Yeah, thank you, man. I love, dude. Or actually, it's not. Sprites in general are just so cool, dude. I appreciate people who appreciate sprites. In the age of fancy visuals, I mean, actually, I think there's a lot of people who like indie sprite games and that kind of look. But okay. This is probably not the best place to do this. I also need to work on the camera. Oh, this game is looking better and better, dude. Okay. So you might need something a little bit more than this. A little bit more than... Let's do like, I don't know, 50. We have to make this scaled based off resolution, but for now we're just trying to get this working on my machine. Okay. It's a little too... I don't know, is that bad? Or is that good? Also, it still looks squashed. Maybe I have to flip the resolution. Maybe this has to be like... I think it might have to be inverted. I think it might be a 1080 divided by 1920 to get a square. Or no, that's maybe that's just wrong. Maybe I have it backwards. Oh, I don't know. Okay, we'll leave this for now. I'll just play around with different patterns and see what works. Use that. Alright, let me catch up in chat. 1 second, guys. And let me eat some lasagna while I'm at it, too. Got the battleship. Night fam, you have a good one, Torque. You have a good one, dude. I love when games do that. Everything is 2D images with a billboarding effect except for the geometry. Yep. All these basics, yeah. That's a good one. Actually, never played it, but I've seen it, and the aesthetic looks fun. One of the first games I played was Castlevania, so I always had that bias towards that. Like, oh yeah, Castlevania did do that quite a bit too. He also did some interesting weird effects as well. That's like 2D, but it emulates 3D. Yep. At Super Mario 64, you have the balls that are rolling around, but it's just a JPEG or a sprite billboarding. What are you talking about, Tira? To Meatloaf? Oh, man. I can only help myself. I'm a sick boy. I'm trying to get better, okay? I need to eat food or else I shan't recover faster. Yeah, because like 3D geometry with like a fixed light is not going to really change that. I mean, it would change, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sold with this pattern either. No, cause you don't ask, but you're innocent. The graphics, like in the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on Game Boy Advance. No, I've never seen that. What? I didn't know it had like that. Is there a video of this? If there's a good video showing the gameplay, I'd like to check it out. I know there's been some cool Game Boy Advance games. Like, heck, I got one right here. And the the big one, I think that was really sick. Not this one. This is Mega Man Extreme 2. Yeah, Golden Sun also looks really great. But there's another game that I think is really neat. If I can find it. No, I'm not gonna knock down the camera to find it. But there's a game called Drill Dozer, and it's really nice visually, but it's 2D purely. Yeah, there's a good video for that game. Let me know, or maybe I'll just Google later. This squashing is bothering me. I'm not gonna lie. It has the same effect either way, no matter how you do it. Oop. What's going on? Someone joined the Discord? Yo. What's going on, OPM? And resources. What do you got here? Hey, there you go. Okay, let's watch this. Let's check this out. Wait, share to Google. That's you though, Morgan. Okay, that's you, Is that the Morgan? Okay. Just verifying that's the correct Morgan. Let me watch it. Why is it showing me sending me to a share.google site? But it's a video. It's on YouTube.
Hey guys, welcome to Lord of the Rings, the two.
Oh my goodness. I'm already digging the sprite work. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, and they do the isometric look. Sweet. I have the original Fallout 1 game. I still need to play it. But it has the same kind of presentation. This is for a Game Boy game, though? This is nuts, dude. I know a lot of this is like images, but isometric stuff, like, jeez, dude. Wait a second. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, this is probably pre-rendered sprites, I'm guessing. Oh, that looks so great, though, man. And then the shadows mapping that as well, too. That is nuts, man. That's actually crazy. Like, yeah, not the most but the thing is, like, unlike a game like Donkey Kong where there's like 2 states for every sprite, this is 8 directional, dude. Or maybe 4, no, 8 directional, yeah, 8 directional. So that means a different sprite set that's rendered for each one. That is sick, dude. Yeah, if there's a one pre-rendered for like very humongous amount of states or amount of directions for states, like that's like the one use case for that. It's crazy how having to animate a bunch of different states for every direction. Even for this game, I have to do like hand animation for each, like any direction for one state the player could be in. I have to animate like at least 4 animations. One animation for attacking forward, an animation for swinging backwards, left, right. Especially since like the sprites are not symmetrical, they're asymmetrical. It's like, all right, every single state the player can be in, running, jumping, whatever, has to have sprites for every single possible direction. That's a whole pain, dude. An assembly. Yeah, that'd be nuts. Shout out to Roller Coaster Tycoon, by the way. That is nuts, though. That is really impressive, dude. Thanks for sending it to me. Thank you, Morgan, for finding that. That's like really, really freaking good looking. Gosh, man. I love doing hand pixel art, but sometimes there's things that just make you want to try. Try sipping the sauce. It's normally gonna be. Yeah, we have to swap. Maybe we have to swap this. We have to do like. Hopefully, it's not doing the float concatenation business. And that'd be dumb. I don't think they do that here, right? In GPU land, in HLSL land. You wouldn't do this to me, right? Okay, that looks squashed in a totally another wrong way. Fantastic. Oh, joyous day. Wrong and fun new ways. What a time to be alive. Okay. Let me try rotating it. Does that look more correct or does it look more wrong? That looks egregiously wrong. Yeah, that looks egregious. It's like stretched even worse. So maybe I have to just make these one of these. If I just do one, let's just do one. Let's just keep it simple. Yeah, I don't like this either. I'm gonna change the pattern back. Bad pattern. We're going dithering. She didn't hurt me. She's only done me good. No! Except for now. But no, that's fine. This is... Or does it require a I have to reload this, I think. Yep. Looks cozy. Thank you, Alan. That's the goal here, man. That's the highest praise you can give me. Yeah, New School is right this entire time. A New School is right this entire time. I love having a circular collider because you could just like slip off. I mean, we have the wall grabbing mechanic, but I need to set those. I could try doing it programmatically, but do I really want to do that? Do I really want to do that programmatically? You know, we can also just do this. We can also not have to use a texture. We don't have to sample a texture for this. We can even just calculate this via the UV coordinates directly. Like, that's a thing we can do. Okay, maybe I'm gonna play around with this off stream. This might be one of those things where I actually need to use a normal display compared to CRT, because the CRT is doing this thing where it blends these things together, which is nice and it's cool, but I can't see specifically what's being rendered to screen because of that artifact. So it's kind of problematic for these kind of scenarios. So let me just do a little occlusion. And then make it like float 4. Let's fine tune this a little bit. Because we're using just this value here, but we can change this. Make this like, I don't know, maybe a little hint of red, no green, and a little bit more blue, like 7F, and then 1. Just kidding. Why are you mad at me? It should be easy to define this stuff. Why am I the bad guy? I'm giving you the thing you desire, which is a float 4. Oh wait, no. That's a comma. Just kidding, I am the bad guy. Compile, please. Thank you. Okay. Or maybe I should give him like a more yellow color. Yeah, maybe do that actually. Oh, that's not yellow. I actually don't know how to create this yellow color. I know how to mix it with paints, but this is color mixing. It's a very different ball game. Yeah, that's great. Gender reveal? I guess so. That's how we're gonna do it, man. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have, for the gender reveal party, the day I have a kid, I'm just gonna have a buggy HLSL fragment shader, and then I'm just gonna keep fixing bugs, and you're gonna see it here, and then eventually, once all the bugs are fixed, it reveals the gender. That's the move. That's what we do. I like this color though. I do like this color. This color works pretty good. Okay, sick. You know, I'll leave it for now like that. We'll do some additional changes later. All right. Now I think what I'm gonna do is do some blocking tonight for the level, because I think a lot of the core things we need for the game are largely there. We have the cache shadows working. We have occlusion working. We have all that stuff. You're not working here though. I'm not seeing you work here. That's not great. If I do this, you're not working here either. Ooh, that's a little sus. You're freaking me out a little bit, game. You're freaking me out, game. I thought we were good, but you're not. What's going on here? Also new? What's up? What's going on here? Hey, Draco. Welcome. Good to have you here, man. Hope you enjoy your stay here. And more stuff from this. Ew. King, Return of the King. I remember playing the PS2 game a lot. And super infatuated with that game. Oh, it's a little different. It's ooh, the resolution's not great. Why is it 140p? 144p. I think that's like actually smaller than the native resolution here. Oh man. Still sick though. Still sick. Yeah, sir. Okay, that's a whole new thing. I don't know why this is not working. That scares me a little bit, but it's okay. Oh, I need to activate the checkpoint amp. Now if I die... There's a weird bug we encountered before. Gosh, dude. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm just like... The movement feels particularly good today. Maybe it's just because the environments look better. Maybe I'm just biased. Okay, if I go back, is it going to be broken again? No, it works. Okay, so that's very weird. Because I don't know why that would work in that level, since this is constructed on runtime. So that's very weird. Very, very, very weird. That's like a bug I can't think of how to fix right now. But gosh, man, we got the thing doing. This is starting to look like a game. Man, these textures look really good. Like I thought they looked bad the other day, but right now I'm actually pretty happy with these textures, man. They turned out pretty dang good. Marcus, what are you making? Make this. I've been messing with Godot. I'm using Unity. I'm using Unity to do stuff. Yeah, no. Actually, BNML. I have a laptop that's really old. Not really old. I got it like in maybe like my early years in college. Like 5 or 10 years, five-ish years old. It's a very weak laptop. It's like only 2 gigabytes of RAM and 2 gigabytes of swap. But it runs this game pretty well. I mean, last time I ran it ran pretty well. I need to give it a try again to see how well it works, but I imagine it's going to be a little bit better now since we're using some optimizations to make things a little bit better and faster and not as intensive as it once was. So yeah, and then also this game is aimed to be very small. I wanted to keep it under 700 megabytes, which back in the days that's a lot, but nowadays that's like nothing. But it'll be cool to have this be able to be printed onto a CD. I think the first people who get this game or something, or maybe people in Discord who help out with playtesting, I'm gonna send out their own personal copy of the game. Just something as like a nice thank you, just hanging out. Maybe some people in stream too. We'll see how that goes one day. I'm still kicking over. This is like we got this working today, man. We can add some more effects to this too to make it a little wobblier, or like more like a phantom thing. Like now, when you get to this level of manipulating UVs, you have like the freedom to do a bunch of cool things with it. Like I can just do, I don't know, I can add a new term to this. And then with this term, We can make it like sine of time y, and then this term be like 0, and then all of a sudden now the player's gonna look wobbly. Okay, maybe I have to increase the multiply this out as well to be a little bit smaller. In fact, let's just change this term. 1 second. I mean, it's probably a bad idea, but I think it's just cool. It might be just cool to add this. Yeah, flow 2, y. And not make this times, but rather make it be scale factor, and then this. Oh, it's missing a parenthesis here. Is it? No, it has everything in. Yeah, what's going on here? What are you missing? Oh, there's just that. Let's see if this works at all. Oh, that's for the okay. One issue. I'm applying it to the wrong place. I want to apply this to the depth, the included this guy here. Yeah, it's gonna modify the tether. I don't want to do that. I want to modify this. Okay, so that's like too much, right? So now we just multiply this by let's say 0.1f or something. Something less extreme. Okay. And then also add a time coefficient, which would be like uv dot y offset. Make this a little bit smaller. Maybe disorienting for people, but it's cool that we can do that. Or maybe have sparser dithering or something. Oh, there's a lot you can do with it. And then the time factor, you can make this a little bit slower. Or maybe make this UV component more extreme. Why are you mad at me? What did I do? Yeah. I don't know why you do that. Besides, it's just fun to be able to do that, but you know, like it's some kind of illusion. Maybe even up it a little bit more so it's a bit more wavy. Oh my goodness, it looks super decrepit now. I can always change the amplitude though, so it's not as extreme still. Okay, so that looks more reasonable. So it looks like not something... That looks way more reasonable, actually. Yeah, big wiggle, dude. Yeah, it kind of looks like the transition animation. Yeah, actually. Where is me in your game? I am one of the characters. I mean, we gotta work on the characters, man. That are new. We have Discord, get regular get updates. Oh yeah, thank you, Morgan, for bringing that up. Love the new C#. Yeah, I mean, this is HLSL shader coding we're doing here mostly. But C# is pretty cool too, man. I actually really like this. I think I'm keeping this actually. This little warble effect from one of the players behind objects. That's like genuinely so freaking cool, dude. I love that little detail. Oh my freaking goodness, dude. This game gets even more polished day by day. And if I swing, oh, you get to see him swing too. Now I'm gonna revise combat as well. We're gonna make it a little bit more than just pressing a button, but that's a different thing. Oh, dude, I'm actually super happy with this, man. What a great freaking day, dude. Oh, my camera's like overheating. I need to get a camera that's good for this kind of thing. I like the quality of this one. It's just that I hate that it turns off every 30 minutes and it gets very hot, which I'm scared is going to be... Ooh, that's a little bad. That's a little rough. Yeah, I need to deal with this situation with the cameras where it gets a little confusing for players. But that's a different story. I'm just going to take the victories we have right now. Beautiful. And then we'll deal with the caching the depth buffer state for the cache shadows. We'll do that in either off stream or somewhere else. It's not that interesting. It's just file IO management. Like, it's important to have it, but it's not that crazy. Or maybe it might turn crazy, actually. I don't know. There's always something weird with Unity textures and serializing them and writing them to a file. It's always weird. Dude, I'm happy, man. I'm actually genuinely super happy with this. Maybe. Like, maybe they get hit or something. Or maybe you can even draw this, not even when it's occluded, but also when, like, let's say the player gets hit, they, instead of just turning red, they actually have this visual effect appear on top of them. Like, that'd be really cool. So, like, it turns red and then it fades out. Big brain time, yeah, big brain time. Gosh, I love, like, it's very hard to describe this, but it's cool looking at this and the lighting here and seeing that none of this is just like Unity. This is like my own lighting model. Like, this is, like, it's not that crazy different, but it's just something about it that it's like, because it's using a different, I don't know, it feels cool to me. It makes me very happy seeing this. All this is not Unity surface model. This is our own surface model with our own logic for our own functions and math for how we're doing this stuff. It's cool. I think it's cool, man. Oh, what's going on in the Discord? Oh, Orbitos. Welcome, Orbitos. Good to have you here. What's going on, Orbitos? It doesn't have the welcome thing. Oh, there it is. That's up there. I need to make oh, I did it twice. My bad. Yeah, I need to make some sprites off stream. I think, well, because I'm getting a little bit sick, so I'm probably gonna be in bed for a few days, or hopefully just tonight and it goes away. But I'm gonna take some time to start doing some Discord stuff and do the website thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're getting to the end of the stream. I'm gonna save the progress we have because we have crazy progress today. I'm actually really happy with what we have going on here. I'm gonna add everything we have. I'm gonna hang on stream for a little bit longer, just like a minute or two, just to answer any questions or catch up with chat. And then I'm gonna go to my bed, maybe drink some soup. Any other changes here? Just submodule stuff, that's not that important. Oh man. Yo, Cozy, you can add me as Disco and update me as needed, fam. What you mean? You can add me on Disco. I think, do I not have you add you on Discord? If you're making environments dynamic, Cozy. Nice effect, especially if you're making the movement dynamics cozy. Melige. I actually might like Melige. Different transition. Yeah. Ola, what's up, Ganja? Did I not? Crimson Crown. Oh yeah, that's another game. Yeah, I never released that one. That's still in the pipeline. Dude, I'm like, dude, we're gonna go back to that game and it's gonna be like game over. Like we did so much tooling here. The dev kit's gonna be so much stronger and powerful. It's not even funny, dude. Like it's kind of crazy because I did all this tooling for Unity and then I'm gonna switch off to my own game engine after this. It's like great. We built all these tools in Unity for games in the future and I'm just gonna throw it away. Not really throw it away because I think a lot of this stuff I can repurpose for my own game engine. Like the lighting model for rendering, we can totally do that in our own game engine, and I think there's a lot we can do. Like it wouldn't be hard to translate this stuff to HL to GL, OpenGL, GLSL. It wouldn't be hard to do that, and then translating Unity's global shader structure, that wouldn't be crazy to do that either. The resources thing that I need to do that because it's so convenient to load things that way. Just having any resource file at any point in the project all be combined into one symbolic resource file, and being able to just get that, it's beautiful, dude. Can't wait for this game to be available. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some play testing soon in Discord. I think this week, I think the big stuff I needed to get done are done, and I'm just gonna be reusing not assets, but the mechanics I've implemented previously. I think I should be able to have something this week for playtesting by next weekend. So I feel optimistic. Hopefully, being sick doesn't affect things too much, and we'll go from there. Yeah, ideas. Well, we're still working on it. It's still a little rough. She's a little rough. It's kind of hard to do work on this right now on the engine when I have this other game I'm trying to get done. But slowly but surely, we're making more incremental changes until we get there. And yeah, this bad boy. Yeah. Using Vim Motion. Actually, I haven't done a staircase here, have I? Do I have pieces for... Yeah, I do have pieces. So I can just make a beautiful little staircase for myself, and then I can make a little platform here. Let's see. Let's see how broken the collision is going to be. Oh, no. Okay. Whatever. It's okay. Yeah, still work on collisions. But it's a thing. It's in progress. One day. But that day is not today. We should probably get a game done before I make an engine, shouldn't I? I'm just using C++ right now. C++ and then OpenGL. One day I'll do Vulkan. I'll be a big boy and learn Vulkan. And really get the most juice out of my GPU, but we're not there yet. We're not friends on Discord, but feel free to add me. I got you, man. I got you. Let me add you on Discord. That's pretty wild. I got you, man. Let's make it Facebook official. How do you do this? Where's the button? There we go. Bam. Dunzo. Did I do it? I think I did it. Dunzo. Vulcan gonna watch Star Trek. I've never watched Star Trek. I really should though. I'll give you one final showcase before we hop off for tonight. It's time I hit the hay. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, we streamed for a while today. It's like 3.5 hours. That's bigger than my usual. Usually I try keeping it capped at 3 hours, but it is what it is. Yeah, this is the game we're working on. And we did a bunch of cool stuff like watcha, this effect. That's pretty cool. Dude, I could just watch this for like minutes. I'm not gonna say hours, but minutes. I can watch this for minutes. Just seeing this guy just horrible. Oh. Yeah, I need to, now that I see how many edges we're gonna probably have in this game, the ledge grab thing is making me scared, because the way I have it implemented is probably not, it's gonna require a lot of level designer work to specify edges that are grabbable versus edges that are not grabbable. I might have to make like an explicit thing so people recognize, hey, these ledges are grabbable and these ledges are not grabbable. The Z fighting continues. The Z fighting will continue until morale improves. Okay, this is significantly less cool. Hey, we're back in this area. I think my mouse is starting to die because the right click for dashing is starting to not work every single time. I'm clicking it. Now it is. Oh, that's a bug. I need to make it so you can dash from starting position without having to hold it input or direction. That's a to-do. That's a bug. Let me add that to the to-do. Ledge bugs. And then finally, stationary dash bug. Perfect. All right, guys. On Steam when it's done, yeah, Steam. I'm gonna have a demo on Newgrounds and then maybe some other platforms too, but we'll see. Last time I was here, glad you popped up my feed again. Yeah, thank you, man. It's good to have you here again, man. To learn these programming languages, I mean, I'm still learning it, man. There's still a lot to learn. It's a lifetime, man. Probably like professionally, like it took me 4 years until I got actually good or pretty decent at C#. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've covered quite a bit today. And I think it's time that everyone get some rest and relax. Hopefully you guys, if it's nighttime for you, hopefully you go to get some sleep and sleep your 8 hours and get refreshed for the next day. And if it's morning or afternoon for you, I hope your day goes swimmingly, goes very great, and hope you're pumped up to do the work you need to do, or, you know, take the rest you need to take the rest you need to rest. And yeah, as always, I appreciate your company here, guys, and just being with me on this journey of trying to get a game done. And I hope this atmosphere has been very relaxed for you guys. And yeah, as always, thank you for your company, and Until next time, guys, stay cozy. Ta-ta.